What going on? Thank you for coming back. Today's topic is my top 2024 reads. Yes, I know we are in 2025. However, you're going to get this 2024 content as well. Let me get into it. So I just want to start off by saying is I made a list. Wow, I didn't know my child had mark up the back of my thing. I made a list. Originally, I was trying to curate a list of my top 10 reads. But as you can see, I just couldn't figure it out. I could not narrow down just 10 books that wrap me in their arms for 2024. For 2024, I read 155 books. It'd have been so hard for me to only choose 10. So we're gonna go through this list. Now, again, this list does not have a specific order. It's just based off of what I remember and what I'm going to read off of this notepad here. Let me get into it. Let's start off with my favorite book of all time. I reread it last year. I haven't read it since last year. I haven't read it since high school. Afterburn-Zane. I know it's wild to be reading a Zane book in high school, but I read it and that book stuck with me forever and ever. Amen. Like I rarely remember what happens in books from that long ago, but the fact that I remember what was the major plot of the book tells you how bad it had hurt my heart. I remember that book made me cry, and when I read it last year, it made me cry again. I bought a physical copy, so I'm probably gonna reread it again this year just so I could get it feels all over again. Another book that I talk about all the time. I know people tired of hearing me talk about this book, or actually books, is the Delgato Family by Jacquel J. I recommend that title. And the thing is, this is not even her first book. It's not her first series or anything. Jacquel has been writing for years, but I started reading her in 2018. But the Delgato family right now has the entire world, the entire reading world in a chokehold right now. And I always talk about the series, the characters, and I always tell people if you want to get into urban fiction, read the series. The Delgato family series will not disappoint you. And to follow up, since we're in the category of urban fiction, The Zoo Boys by Tatianna Timmons. Preach. Preach. I don't know. The Zoo Boys, they also hold a special place in my heart. You know, they're kind of like the whole series is like found family, they came from being by themselves and then they found each other, create a biker gang, if you want to call it a gang or whatever. I don't really want to call it a gang. Call it a formed a biker group. And you go through their trials and tribulations and how they stay connected with each other. And I just enjoy that entire series. Preach, he holds my heart. Preach is that guy. And now we're gonna go into Urban Erotica since we just here going on the line. Another series that I talk about all the time, and I can't wait to listen to the audiobooks this year. The Danger Family by Endiya Carter. Declan. That's all I have to say. That book is not that book. Those three books, because it follows the three brothers, the three Danger brothers. Each book is dedicated to a brother, but the Danger Family series. What them book girlies to say? Chef's kiss. Whew! Declan. Okay, another series that I talk about a lot too is the Jacksonville Race series by Emily Rath. Pucking Around, Pucking Sweet, Pucking Wild, and Pucking Strong comes out this year. Yeah. That series was my first hockey romance, polyamorous romance series, and oh my god, those books were so good. They were so good. I enjoyed every single one of those books. Like, oh my god, they were so good. They were really good. Since we're gonna be here on the topic of sports romance, the Hoop series by Kennedy Ryan. You have Long Shot, Black Shot, Hook Shot. Of course, my all-time favorite out of those three is Hook Shot because I just love how Lotus found the love that she wanted, how they had the patience to get together, and how she was just appreciative for it. Like, I love love, and seeing a black woman being loved correctly, it grips my heart. It grips my heart, and I love to read about it. I love those happily ever afters. Let's go into another series. Chance of Love series by Tanvier. I keep messing up her last name, so I'm not going to pronounce it. I just can't remember the correct pronunciation. But the Chance of Love series, the third book comes out in July, tender offer. So right now, two books are out, 7 month each, miles apart. I did a reread of Miles Apart this year, but I read those two last year, and I reread Miles Apart this year, and I did beta reading for tender offer and 8 down. I absolutely love those books. I love the way she writes her characters. I love how it's an interconnected series, but you could still read them as standalones. But if the characters crisscrossing each other, I'm going to read every single book in the order as is. And since we're talking about Tanvier, another one of her books that was my top read for 2024 is Ella Gets the D. And I remember it's one of my top reads because in the first chapter, it was straight to the point. We gained into the action, and it was so funny. It was funny. It was a straight to the point book, and I enjoyed the entire thing. And the name, I always enjoy when somebody names their book and the name, connects with the storyline. Like, they mention a name in the book and it just connects. The connection is connecting. Let's go back to Jacquel J. She wrote her first contemporary romance series last year, the Brookwood series, and I love it. I love it. The way how she writes her characters, the storylines, the plot, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's in her pen. I don't know what's in her pen, what's in her laptop, MacBook, however she uses to write her stories. I don't know what's in it, but it's addicting. And Brookwood, those characters, those storylines, they're just so captivating. And it's not like continuous turmoil. Oh, she has to go through 55 million trials and tribulations to get the love. No, it's so cute. It's so soothing to read. And it takes place in a fictional world that, Jacquel created, Brookwood. And I enjoy every single last one of those books. And I'm so happy to know that she's adding on to that series this year. So, yes, I will be doing a reread. Again, it's an interconnected series. You can read each book as a standalone, but as per usual, that's not how I do it. I read every single book in the order that it's dropped. So, the Brookwood series by Jacquel J. If you're looking for a contemporary romance, that's cute. It's soothing. Definitely get at it. Now we're going to go into a psychological thriller, or it's a thriller mystery, one of those. And I think about this book very often because I couldn't believe that that was the plot and that was the plot twist. Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. There's no reason why that book was so crazy, and there's no reason that that plot twist at the end was like that. That was wild. That was very, very wild to me, but I enjoyed it. And that was a really good book. We're going to continue with, on the thriller aspect, Their Vicious Games. That was like a cross between The Hunger Games. It's like the black version of The Hunger Games, and there's another reference that I reference it to. But let's go with the black version of The Hunger Games. That book was sick. It was so sick that I literally finished it in one sitting. I just couldn't believe what I was reading, and I couldn't believe where the story was going, and I couldn't believe the actions that was occurring in that book. Like, I'm thinking about it now, and that book was crazy. That book definitely took you on a wild ride. It kept you wanting to read more, trying to find out, like, the emotions I was going through that book didn't make sense. I was bewildered. I was mad. I was sad. I was in shock. It was a wild ride. So if you're going to read their vicious games, just Buckle up, buddy. That's all I could tell you. Of course, we can't talk about 2024 and not talk about This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. Soledad's book, I don't know, it's one of those where you have to hold it to your heart, take deep breaths, and enjoy it. The Skyland series by Kennedy Ryan is just one of those top contemporary romance series that they tug at your heartstrings. And the third one, Can't Get Enough, which would be Hendrix's story, comes out next month. And I absolutely cannot wait to read it. I'm doing my reread right now of Before I Let Go. And, I haven't read Before I Let Go since 2023. So rereading it now, I'm only 32% in. And I was like, now I remember why I love this book. And it's actually hitting harder now because certain circumstances. But the Skyland series, This Could Be Us, you gotta read it. You gotta read it. It's a lovable storyline. Another book that I enjoy was Jamaal, the IT guy. It was a cute, giggly. I don't know. I just love cute, happily ever afters. Like you gonna make me giggle, you gonna make me kick my little feet. And Jamaal, the IT guy, delivered on that. So of course, I have to be one of my top reads from 2024. A Grown and Sexy Somebody series by Robbie Renee. I haven't gotten to read the last book that dropped at the end of 2024. Yes, so I haven't gotten to read Somebody's Husband, but I did read Somebody's Wife and Somebody's Forever. Those books, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was so good. I don't really know how to describe it, but I'm always here for the drama, but the love, the romance, but the drama too. Like I love when those things commingle. It just, you know, draws you in. But yeah, I absolutely adore the series as well, and I still need to go read the third one, Somebody's Husband. I will get to that this year though. A psychological thriller, Dear Vicky by Octavia Grant. I don't really read psychological thrillers, and I read hers because I was also doing the Black Romance Book Fest challenge, and I came across hers, and that book was crazy. For a psychological thriller, that was really psychologically thrilling. Like, it's a quick read, and I don't know how she thinks of these things, but if you want a quick read and you like psychological thrillers, even if you don't like psychological thrillers, but you want a quick read, I highly suggest Dead Vicky. I highly, highly, highly suggest it. My next top read. Everybody knows this book. Everybody's been talking about it. If you haven't read it, I don't understand what you're waiting on. I understand that the 600 pages is a bit daunting, but Demon's Dream by L. Kaysen, like, all I have to say is I don't know why you're waiting on. I don't know why you're waiting on, but just read it. Demon's Dream is so, so, so good. Yes, it is 600 pages, but it is worth every single one of those pages. It is. And I will definitely be doing a reread. I definitely will. I don't know when, but I will. Another one that I absolutely enjoyed was Elevator Pitch by Evelyn Leigh. Grayson, I want a Grayson. I want you to take me on a book trip. And when I ask if I could get paperback or hardbacks, and you tell me you don't effing care, you can have whatever you want, sign me up. Come on, Grayson. Let's go. Elevator Pitch. I love it. I loved it. Check it out. Okay, I only have two more. So if you're still here watching, thank you for sticking around with me. On my list of my top reads for 2024, I have two more. Evergreen Academy. That was an arc for me. It's a YA fantasy, but it was a different storyline. Like usually when it's fantasies and it come with magic, it's always about the witches and the warlocks and all of that. But this one was a top read for me because the storyline was different. It was more so centered around plants and your different affinities, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that because it was different. And not only just because it was different, it was interesting. It was interesting from the beginning to end. And I was like, okay, there wasn't a whole lot of drama and fighting, but using that storyline for the affinities and reading this young lady figure out what she is, who she is, where she came from, and how she's going to use these newfound magical powers. I was with it. And I am looking forward. The second book drops this year, and I am so looking forward to reading it because it was good. And I love a young adult book because they're not complicated. Evergreen Academy, if you like YA fantasy, I highly, highly suggest that you read that. Again, the second book drops this year. My last top 2024 reads is A Jolly Polly Christmas series. So they're not interconnected, they are standalone. A Jolly Polly Christmas, they each book is centered on a different state, a different city. I think there was Philadelphia, Chicago, DC. Either which way, that is urban erotica. Jolly Polly. I love those books. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So they are written by different authors, but A Jolly Polly Christmas, I think these are the ones that I have read, and I highly suggest you go read them too. But thank you for tuning in. If you've read some of these, comment down below. Tell me what you liked about them or which ones did you read. If you have any recommendations of books that fit these profiles that I should read, also comment them down below. And of course, don't forget, books don't expire. Buy the book. You can read it anyways. Check out you.